Hello, I am Dr. Cherita Weatherspoon, founder and CEO of Powerhouse Coaching and Mission Critical Consulting, filling in once again for Pastor Jerome Lewis here on the Coach's Corner. I hope the time we've spent together in previous episodes have been impactful for you, and my prayer today is that this episode will literally change your life. Today I want to share with you on the connection between calling and vision. As always, get your pen and paper ready so you can take notes. I want to start off by telling you a little bit about myself. You know that I'm a coach, but what does that mean and how did I get here? Well, more specifically, I am a life strategist and an organizational power consultant. In short, I help people identify and tell the truth about what it is they want in life, develop and implement a plan to get it, then cheer them on and hold them accountable through the process. I also help organizations to capitalize on their most important resource, the thing that gives the organization its power, their people. That's what I do now. However, I spent over 20 years of my life doing great work in higher education, making a difference in the lives of students and getting paid pretty well for doing it. But something wasn't right. I knew that my purpose was to impact change, and I was doing that, but I felt a lack of peace in my work, even some dissatisfaction, but I couldn't quite put my finger on what it was. Have you ever felt that way? I had some other things that I wanted to do, but they were like my retirement goals or things I would do when I had the time to do them, after my 4 children were grown, out on their own, after all the debts were paid and the savings account was where I wanted it to be. But the truth is, I didn't feel like it was okay for me to want something different or better than what I already had. See, I was a first-generation college student who made it out of the hood. I was now a professional with a good job, making good money. And every time I took another job, I made more money. And I didn't think I had a right to want more or to expect more than that. So my dreams remained my dreams. And after a while, those dreams began to fade, and the path I was on seemed like the one I'd have to stay on. Then after so many years, I made too much money to walk away, even when I knew in my heart it was time to walk away. But when I no longer had the option of staying, when my organization said that my position was one of many being eliminated, I had to make a choice about how I was going to move forward. What I want to share with you today is not about encouraging you to follow my path or to make the decisions that I made. It is about encouraging you to take hold of the lessons that I've learned over 16 years of coaching adults and students through their career and educational goals and in my own journey, in the hope that you can identify and get on the right path for you sooner rather than later. Now, some of you will get exactly what you need from what I share in the next 25 minutes or so. But some of you will need more, and I'm going to share how you can get additional help and support in this area later. So let's dive in. Let me start by asking you a question. Do you have a vision of who you are, of the impact of your life? Or is your vision limited to what's right in front of you or to who other people say you are? Vision is about developing an image of something in your mind that doesn't yet exist. And more specifically for our purposes today, it means developing an image of the manifestation of purpose in your life, even though it hasn't happened yet. Those who don't know any better might call it a hallucination, a mirage, or even a dream. But the difference for us is that what we see is what will be if we can connect our calling to our vision.
Hello. I'm Robert Hawkins, Senior Counsel at Hawkins Counsel Group. We're a full-service law firm with a focus on excellence and service to our clients. Our practice areas include intellectual property, which includes patents, trademarks, and copyrights. We handle both commercial and residential real estate transactions. We help you with your business formation for both for-profit and not-for-profit entities. We do estate planning, including wills, trusts, medical directives, and power of attorney. Our practice also includes licensing, contracts, mediation, and more. Even if you're not sure we handle your area of need, give us a call. We will access our network of attorneys on your behalf. Call us anytime at 302-635-1511. That's 302-635-1511. or visit our website at hawkinscounselgroup.com.
So you can't manifest vision if you don't have purpose. You can't have purpose if you don't understand your mission. And you can't understand your mission if you don't know your calling. You're probably familiar with the concepts of purpose, mission, calling, and vision. And most people use these terms interchangeably. However, while they are closely related, they are not the same thing, and one cannot be used to appropriately or adequately describe the other. So let's get some clarity on each of these. We'll start with calling. I believe that calling is what you are created to do, and that your calling never changes or ends. Calling is a broad idea or theme. For example, if I asked you to sum up your calling in 3 words, many of you could sum it up by saying that your calling is either to impact change or to help people. And for those of you who are called to impact change, how do you do that? For those of you who are called to help people, what does that look like for you? See, these are very broad statements, but I can guarantee you that if you could all respond right now with how you impact change or how you help people, there would be hundreds of different answers. That's because calling is lived out very differently for each of us, even if we have the same calling. So we can establish that calling is a part of what makes up your purpose. Your calling will influence your purpose, but it is not in and of itself your purpose. And if you don't understand the difference between calling and purpose, and you don't gain understanding and wisdom about how your calling is delivered, you could spend a lot of time in confusion and chaos, being busy, but not purposeful. Some people know their calling early in life, and others don't discover it until much later. Now, I intentionally use the word discover because the calling exists. It's there, whether your spiritual ear is tuned enough to hear it and whether or not you choose to respond to it. Your failure to hear it or refusal to adhere to it doesn't change it or eliminate it. The only thing you can do other than accept it is to reject it, but the call is still calling as long as you are here. It's sort of like a bill collector. They just keeps calling until you answer. But why not answer? Why not respond to the calling? Because it's uncomfortable? Because it doesn't line up with your plans? Maybe it doesn't line up with your current situation. Or better yet, it seems like you are too far away from where you know you were meant to be. But it's never too late to respond to your calling, and there is no wasted time. There will be lessons that were learned that will prepare you to fulfill your calling with excellence. There were some experiences in that gap that may have had the intent or the effect of hurting you, but actually helped or is helping to move you closer to your calling. So don't despise what may look like small beginnings, hard beginnings, or even delayed beginnings. They may just be part of the plan in helping to prepare you for where your calling will take you. Now, what about mission? Mission has 4 components to it. They are who or what you serve, the skills, talents, gifts, experiences, knowledge, and other characteristics that you bring to the table, the methods you use to serve, and what you want to accomplish. Mission is why we see differences in how people with the same calling live that out. You may have the same calling as other people, but who you serve, how you serve, and the uniqueness that you bring will be different. You'll use different strategies for serving, and you'll have different outcomes. Although it's the same calling, you have a different mission. For example, you may be called to teach like your friend is called to teach, but who you teach, how you teach, where you teach, when you teach, what you teach is going to be different. One is not better, one is not more important, one is not more valuable. Each of us can be impactful in our own way. Here's where we tend to run into problems though. We want to do the easy thing, the thing that's popular, the thing that will make us the most money, the thing that we're good at or comfortable with, or that just seems to make the most sense. Instead of doing what we were created to do in the way that only we can do it, in the place established for us to do it, in the timing that it should be done. We're fearful, we're stubborn. We want to do things our way or the easy way. We want reward without risk, fortune without fight, and prosperity without perseverance. Well, I've got too much invested to do something different now. I make way too much money to walk away now. What will people say? How will I? I'm too old, I'm too young. I don't speak well, I don't have enough money. We've got all these excuses for not doing what we are called to do, but we can find plenty of reasons to spend our time doing other things and investing our money into other things. The thing is, everything we want to be, everything we want to experience, we can have, and you'll find it en route to making your vision your reality. Let's move on to purpose. Purpose is complicated. It can change or evolve as you change and evolve because it's multi-dimensional. In fact, it has 7 dimensions or elements, and we've discussed several of these already. But let me ask you this, are you more knowledgeable today than you were a year ago? Have you gotten better at doing things you were doing 2 to 3 years ago? Do you have more skills than you had maybe 5 years ago? Well, you've changed, you've evolved, and it's likely that your purpose has evolved with you. Your purpose is your calling lived out, and at any given point in time, your purpose is dependent upon the skills, talents, gifts, knowledge, and experience you have, and the opportunities available to you to use them. And let me add here that your calling doesn't have to be lived out in a job or as an employee. It could be done as a business owner, in ministry, as a volunteer, as a hobby, or even as a philanthropist. If you love your job, keep it, but don't forget about the call on your life. And don't have limited thinking about how your calling will operate in your life. Now, sometimes we confuse purpose with vision. We may see who we are and the impact that we can have through living out our calling, but we are not yet prepared. It's not time yet. Let's say that part of your impact will be to own multiple million-dollar businesses and fund the startup of other businesses. You can see that very clearly in the vision for your life, and that's great, but you shouldn't quit your job just yet. Do you know how to run a business? Do you own a business yet? Is it profitable? If not, then you're not prepared to own multiple million-dollar businesses yet. You're not prepared to fund the startup of other businesses yet. Right now, your purpose may be utilized by using your value, what you're bringing to the table, in identifying one entrepreneurial activity that you can start and be consistent with. Maybe your vision includes pastoring a church with thousands of people and multiple ministries that impact the community, but you just can't seem to get your ministry off the ground. Perhaps wherever you are trying to establish your ministry isn't where your ministry is needed. The opportunity doesn't exist for you where you are. You may need to leave a place to be able to step onto the path that was designed for your footsteps. But we want the vision, that end result at the beginning. We don't accept that there is time that exists between calling and vision. There's preparation that exists between calling and vision. There's patience that exists between calling and vision, and faith that exists between calling and vision. There are also successes and mistakes that exist between calling and vision. But the vision serves to keep you motivated. See, the path of purpose won't necessarily be easy or quick. You won't always have the support, and you won't always feel ready. But having a vision of where you are going will help you press through those challenges. And that brings us to vision. Vision is a concept that is future-oriented. It's what the future holds for you and for those people or things that you serve in living out your calling. Vision is like the ultimate goal or the finish line. It's where you're trying to get to. It's your gift to the world. It's who you will become as a result of responding to your calling and living it out purposefully. Vision is about what all of this means when all is said and done. What do you see in the future for yourself, for those people or things that you serve, and living out your calling if you are successful at it? Your vision may or may not change as your purpose and mission change. That depends more on how clear you are and how long range your vision is from the point that you are sure of your calling. You may only be able to see 2 to 3 years out, so your vision is more short term. But as you gain momentum and continue moving and progressing, your vision will begin to become more long range, and it may either get broader or narrower. Vision functions like restraints, boundaries, or bumper guards. It keeps you moving in the right direction, on the right path, towards the right thing. Having sight, just being able to see what you want in life, is not the same as having a vision for your life. Having your own plans for your life isn't enough. You may do whatever you think you should do or whatever you can do, and maybe even things you shouldn't do to get what you see that you want. You are unrestrained. You're just trying to get there however you can get there. You're changing jobs and careers. You're jumping in and out of relationships, in and out of school, starting and stopping businesses, maybe even doing unethical or illegal things, trying to find the shortcut to what you see for your life. You might be focused on the big house that you see, the nice cars, the travel, the brand name clothes, but have no vision for the impact that your life was designed to have in this earth. Now, don't get me wrong, nice things are nice to have, and I believe that we should have what we desire. I also believe that everything we desire can be found in our purpose. So the restraints that come with having a vision of your life enable you to be who you were created to be, and it provides clarity and focus. Once you have a clear vision of your life, write it down, put it in your phone, write it in your journal, post it on your mirror at home and on your wall at work. Let it be that thing that motivates you to continue your journey when things get difficult. Let it be what energizes you and excites you when the path gets dreary. Let it remind you of who you are and strengthen you to be true to who you were created to be and to do what you were called to do. Now, there will be a lot of people in your life that tell you what you can do and what you can't do, what you should do and what you shouldn't do. But you have to hear the call yourself, and you have to have faith enough of your own to respond to it. So how do you connect your calling to your vision? First, through identifying your mission and your purpose. Then by having enough faith to act on that knowledge, enough resilience to move forward even when things are blocking you, and enough courage to live the extraordinary life that you've been called to live. My prayer for you today is that your vision be made manifest and that you experience the fullness that comes with living a purposeful life and living your purpose. I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Coach's Corner, the connection between calling and vision. If you're not sure of what your calling is, what your mission is, or what your purpose is at this time in your life, or you're not clear about the impact that your life is designed to have on this earth, I want to invite you to join me in my 7 Elements of Purpose course. Over a 6-week period, I will walk you through the 7 elements of purpose through a video lesson and workbook exercises that will bring clarity and help you develop a plan of action to move forward with purpose, on purpose. As a part of the course, you'll get online coaching from me as well as bonus videos to supplement what you are learning in the course, and that will help you put that learning into action. To learn more about the course, visit www.CheritaWeatherspoon.com/Coach Corner. That's www.CheritaWeatherspoon.com/Coach Corner. Again, I am Dr. Cherita Weatherspoon, founder and CEO of Powerhouse Coaching and Mission Critical Consulting. It has been my greatest pleasure to serve you. Until the next time here on the Coach's Corner, go be great, because you absolutely are.